Beckinsale. And Colin Farrell.
Long time no see.
Thanks so much for coming, everybody. We know you guys have just started filming, so you're just getting into it, and you took some time out to come spend time with us here in Hall H. We really appreciate it. Even though you just started, you do have a little stuff to show us, right?
Absolutely not ready to show anything, but I thought I'd show it anyway. But we're just about halfway through shooting, so we don't have really enough to put together a trailer. But I've stood in these lines before, and then not seeing something is a big bummer. So I want to put together. It's the first sequence that we shot. So I'm actually going to show you guys a scene. It's very rough. The visual effects are not done. It's got it's cut together with a lot of previs, which is animated storyboards. So what you see is very rough, but I wanted to bring something to show you guys today.
All right, so keep in mind it's a work in progress, but we're going to show you some footage right now from Total Recall.
That looks so good, I should read the script.
Don't tell me how it ends.
Can we go down the line with the actors and you kind of give us an overview of what your characters are and what your role is in the film?
Sure,
Start with you, Jesse?
Yeah, of course. I play Melina, one of the resistance workers against the government, and obviously trying to help Quaid understand what's going on, while at the same time, I obviously don't know what's going on. So it's a lot of confusion and interesting relationship thing going on between the two of us.
I play Cohagen, who is the benevolent leader of the New World, the center of the movie, the moral core of the movie, I am a world leader and a general, and very, very dear friend of our guy, our lead down there, and I'm very excited about this because I'm talking to Len about the role, and I wanted to instill a sense of compassion and earnestness to him, and a believability in why people would follow his word, and he truly believes that what he's doing is for the greater good, and I think that's what makes him a little scarier, but it's so much fun.
John?
Thank you, Dad.
I play McClane. My name is John Cho. I play McClane. Gracias, mi amigos. And I play McClane, who runs Rekall, and we sell brain vacations and set him up on a little trip.
I play Colin's lovely, sweet, understanding, or not. And I work with Bryan as well.
I play Douglas Quaid, who is an Austrian expat who rises to prominence in the world of bodybuilding. Then continues into a very successful career in film, only to find that to be the perfect foundation for a budding career in politics. I play that part, Doug Quaid, a man who basically has lost himself somewhere along the road of life and doesn't even know it. He's basically living in a dream. Somebody who's suspicious that everything around him is not as it should be. As many of us are in our lives, I suppose, many times, and gets a rude awakening about 15 minutes into the film or so. Gets a rude awakening, as you just witnessed there.
Len, what
I play Kate's husband.
Len, what attracted you to...
One of the more uncomfortable jobs I've ever had.
Rewrite.
Go back to what?
What attracted you to this material, Len? Why did you want to make Total Recall?
The material itself. I read the script, and like many people out there, just in terms of whether or not there should be a retelling of it, and I was just really gripped by the direction that the script went into, and that and a love for both the film and the Philip K. Dick story. So it was, but it was really the script that I was surprised about where it went and the tone of it that got me interested.
Did you draw on the Philip K. Dick, the original source material, to color this film at all?
We did. Well, I mean, there's a in terms of the concept itself and the tone that is in that original story, and the struggle that Quaid is going through. I'm fascinated by the reality versus fantasy element to it, and wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that character's struggle for I mean, it's quite an amazing thing to be faced with that everything that you believed is suddenly you're told that it's a lie, and that those kind of stories fascinate me.
By the way, if you have any questions for anybody up here, you can feel free to line up over here. Bryan, you were talking about your character, how you wanted to give him a sense of earnestness, a compassion that would draw people to follow him. When you're in an action film like this, of this scope, as an actor, how key is it to keep grounded and to keep that stuff foremost in your mind and your performance?
I think that's the key to it. That the sequences not only have to be plausible, but we want the audience to be invested in the characters and in the story itself. And the more invested that we can pull the audience in, the more they'll enjoy the ride when it comes to the big explosions and things like that. And that's what this does. And I was seduced by the strength of the script. I had a nice chat with Len, and away we went. But that to me is everything. If you don't invest and care about the characters, you can have as many explosions as you want. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Colin, what was your first impression when you read the script? What drew you to it?
I loved it. I was kind of tinkering with the idea of if something that was in bigger scope came along than what I'd been doing for the, I suppose, 5 or 6 years previous, that I'd be open to it. And it was sent to me, and I loved the original. I sound like I'm repeating myself, because guess what? I am. It's the second time I said that today. I've been found out. But you can love two things, and I think, can't you? Is it possible? You're not necessarily bullshitting and just giving a byline. I loved the original, and when I read it, I thought that it was different enough, and it didn't tread the same ground in the way that it could have. But again, it used Phil K. Dick's. Look, I just loved the character as well, and I loved the idea of a man journeying from being in a deep, deep slumber that he wasn't fully aware of to consciousness. And I love the idea of escapism, and in the world today, what we do to escape and what we use in our lives daily to escape from ourselves and to escape from feeling, and it's kind of the battle between the intellectual world and the emotional world is what Quaid is struggling with, and I found that really cool. And then I met Len, and we spoke for a good while, the first meeting, and he showed me his drawings, and from when he was a kid, Matchstick Man, and all sorts of. He said, I did this when I was 7. Trees and squirrels.
Remember that, honey?
Or a roach or a pterodactyl. The world that he had created visually with the artists that he works with was so astonishing, man. It was really cool. I found myself looking at it, and in the office with him, in his production office in Los Angeles, going, holy shit, I could be part of that frame. That would be cool to be part of that frame. Like literally, I found myself. I didn't say that to you. I was kind of like, yeah, the script was very interesting. My character breakdown. But that was it.
Well, thank you.
Is the film a comment on technology? I mean, obviously it's an action film. There's a lot of story there, but it seems to me that, especially in modern days, people use technology as a way to sort of escape or as a way to insulate themselves from their real lives. Did you consider that aspect of it at all?
I mean, there's not so much in terms of how you're saying. In terms of there is definitely an escapism and a kind of a wish fulfillment we do it in various forms today, and so it's something I think it's a very appealing concept. the technology aspect of it just allows you, I think, as we'll go on with into the future, of many ways to escape, and this is a very kind of exploded version of that. It's great.
Colin and Bryan, you guys are okay too. My question's for John. Big fan since Chris Chan Lee's Yellow movie.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. I noticed that you've done comedy and drama over your career, and the sci-fi action drama is kind of fairly new into your regime with Star Trek under your belt, and now this production of Total Recall. Is there much different in preparing for an action flick versus like preparing for roles as Harold and Kumar or West 32nd?
I love you.
You just read your IMDb page, I think.
You're so into me. Acting-wise, I feel like it's always the same, which is trying to understand the character's point of view, and rehearsing, and then getting on the set and figuring out, what the character wants and what have you. I would just say, for Star Trek, it was probably the first time that I had to exercise for a movie, which is unusual. But the genre is really interesting for me in that you come onto a set and your world is totally given to you and it's completely brand new, and especially on Star Trek and also Total Recall, Len gave us so much practical stuff. There wasn't that much CGI that we had to handle. We could hold and touch everything, and so just from a childish point of view, just play acting, it's really fun.
Hi, Rekall, which I'm a huge fan of, and I'm a fan, and I'm definitely interested to see how Mr. Farrell plays that character. When you take something like Total Recall and you're remaking it, and you have one of the things that makes it such a cult classic, like, at the end, was it real, was it a dream, this, that, or the other. How do you approach that, and did you approach it, or is this something just completely different with some of the same characters and same ideas?
No, it's still very much alive in the in our film of the question of whether it's a fantasy or reality, and it's one of the things that draws me to the project initially. Anyway, so it's something that's very much alive in this, and Philip K. Dick, he's in a lot of his material actually, he's somebody that questions reality, but doesn't necessarily answer it all the time, and it's definitely something that I want to keep present in this film, and so I'd say yes, that does have presence in here for sure.
All right, your last question.
Hi, my question is for Bryan Cranston. Bryan, you obviously have such a great talent in being in playing humble and comedic and very serious at times, and so many other emotions. You kind of remind me of like a modern day Jack Lemmon. I was wondering where you draw your inspiration for such characters, and when you approach a serious role such as this, where you draw your inspiration.
Well, first of all, what kind of snake is that around your neck?
I think it's a scarf.
Okay. Is it cold here in San Diego? Just teasing. And are those real bullets in that strap?
Oh, jeez.
Ooh. I love it. I do. Well, thank you for that comparison. Jack Lemmon was like, I adored him. And he had a career where he was able to transcend just one type of character. And I think any actor looks for those opportunities. And that's really the only thing an actor really hopes for in their careers, an opportunity to express themselves in different ways. Much like in your own life, you're not always joyful or serious. You want to be able to experience all those things. And actors are the same way in the roles they choose. They'd love to be able to expand upon that. So I've just been very, very fortunate to be able to do some comedy and do some drama and go back and forth and pick and choose where I'd like to go with it. But thank you for that.
Len, do we have an idea when the film will be out? Do we have a release date yet?
Do we? Anybody? The exact date, yeah, I think we're right in August somewhere.
That's great.
Yep.
Well, do me a favor, folks. Help me thank these folks for coming out to talk about